Now, campaigners say the refusal of pharmaceutical companies to openly share their vaccine science and technology and the lack of action from rich countries to ensure access to vaccines globally have created the perfect breeding ground for new variants such as Omicron. Well, the campaign group, the People's Vaccine Alliance, also claims the number of people in the UK who've had their third booster jab is almost the same as the total number of people fully vaccinated across all of the world's poorest countries. Well, Claire O'Shea is a member of the People's Vaccine Alliance and chair of the Wales Overseas Agencies Group. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning.
How much has the lack of vaccination, created a breeding ground for variants like Omicron?
Well, as you just kind of mentioned, that the number of people vaccinated in some of the world's poorest countries is the equivalent of the people in the UK who've had their third vaccine dose. And I think the evidence is clear in the Omicron variant first being identified in South Africa would be an indicator that the lack of vaccines in those countries are creating the perfect conditions for these kind of mutations.
And when we talk about these countries, these poorest countries, Claire, how many countries are we including in that claim?
We define it as countries in the global south, so some of the world's poorest countries. In Wales, for example, we have really strong links with sub-Saharan Africa, so we focus our attentions on pairing with those countries. So it's a vast number of countries across the whole of the world that are in this position, but Wales obviously has strong links with sub-Saharan Africa.
And why do you think there is a reluctance among big companies to share, something like vaccine science that can benefit all of us?
We kind of say it's patents and profits before people, basically. So big pharmaceutical companies are protecting their profits, and then in doing so, they're depriving poorer countries of the opportunity to develop their own vaccines through either the technology and the intellectual property, but also just the kind of resource and the capacity and the buildings and that kind of thing in order to be able to actually develop vaccines.
But if they don't make money, how are they going to push things forward in the future? They need the money to develop these vaccines, don't they?
Yep, there's no denying that people do need money to develop this kind of technology, but, Oxford University and various other universities in developing the AstraZeneca developed it with the intention of it being a kind of affordable vaccine. Fundamentally and morally, we can't really put profit before people. Every vaccine that gets out to sub-Saharan Africa or other developing countries will save a life. So we don't really want it to be a kind of either or, profit or people. It should be people really first as a moral imperative.
And we know, like, the UK is part of the COVAX scheme, sharing vaccines. Are we doing enough? Should we be giving more vaccines to poorer countries, the ones you mentioned? What would you like to see happen here?
Whilst we welcome efforts to kind of give vaccines to COVAX, there's no denying it's an important step. It doesn't go anywhere far enough. We're not even going to meet the targets that COVAX first laid out. It shouldn't be a point of kind of charity or us donating vaccines. That's not enough. It should be an issue of kind of justice and equality. Like, we in the UK, or Wales in particular, wouldn't want to be in a position where we were waiting for donations from another country in order to be able to vaccinate our populations. So it's not fair to put other countries in that position as well. We don't want kind of an either or solution. We want the kind of capacity and the resource that countries can take control of their vaccination programs and develop it themselves, rather than waiting for donations that just may or may not come.